If you are getting in the sync music business so that you can get rich quick and land a lot of money really fast, then you are in the wrong business. Take your dreams and go yourself. Hello rock stars, Matt Vanderbo here, and I've got a healthy dose of reality for you today, because in this video we're going to talk about how long it takes to make money in the sync music business. And quick spoiler alert, it takes a long freaking time. In fact, it takes so long that this can be depressing enough that people quit pursuing music for this very reason. And I have seen far too many people, talented people, expecting great results, or at least some monetary results in their first year, and then are so disappointed and depressed when it doesn't happen that they end up flaming out and going back to whatever their career was before music, when if they just would have been prepared and knew the realities of the timelines to getting paid, they might have been more able to mentally withstand this whole process, because it is not quick at all. The sync music business in general, and more appropriately, the speed at which you will get paid for your music, moves about as fast as molasses in the wintertime. As fast as my grandma walking through a parking lot. As fast as my love life. Oh, about as fast as my dogs when I tell them to get off the bed, which is not very fast. And again, you just need to know this, because forewarned is forearmed. So in order to tell you all about this, we're going to start somewhere in the middle and then move forward and then move backwards, so you can see all the variables that are involved in the time it takes for you to get paid. So let's start in the middle, and let's say that you are a good enough songwriter and your songs are appropriate for television show placements, or you are a cue composer that is doing everything right and your cues are just irresistible. Let's just run through an impossibly accelerated timeline just so you can see what happens on the back end, okay? Bear with me. So let's just say that it is Monday, and on Monday you write a piece of music that is complete and ready to roll out, so that by Tuesday morning you can send it off to a music library. And let's just say now that the music library instantly listens to your music and they love it so much that they instantly want to take it into their catalog. Well, then you have to bounce off all the files and the alt mixes and everything else that they're going to require. Let's just say that you are exceptionally speedy at that and can also do that on Tuesday, so that by Wednesday the music library has everything they need and they can ingest it into their system and start getting it out to different shows where they want to pitch it. So that by Thursday, your music is actually in the hands of the editors or music supervisors at a TV show production company. And then for whatever reason, let's just say that this TV show is so behind the gun that they have a show that's airing on Saturday. They need to get music in it right away. So on Friday, they put your music in the edit, and on Saturday it is on the air. That is going from writing the music on Monday to getting the music aired on TV on Saturday. This is almost impossibly accelerated. This kind of timeline is almost completely out of the realm of possibility for anyone who's just getting into this business. But let's go with it. Let's just say that by some miracle that does happen, and you're like, great, my music is on TV. Hand over the money, baby. Well, here's what happens after that fact. First of all, the production company at the TV show needs to put together what are called cue sheets, which are a detailed list of all the information of every single piece of music that was used in a show. And then the production company files those cue sheets with the PROs, and then the PROs do their magic behind the scenes stuff. But then what happens is, after your music is aired on TV, you have to sit out the remainder of that quarter. Now, PROs, which are performing rights organizations, which are in America, they are companies like BMI, ASCAP, and CSAC. They are going to pay you quarterly, which means every 3 months. Now, what'll happen is, after your music goes on TV, you have to sit out the remainder of that quarter. So let's just say that a quarter runs from January 1st to March 31st. If your music aired on TV on the first day of the quarter, January 1st, you have to sit through the remainder of that quarter, which might be 3 entire months. In a fast scenario, let's just say your music was on TV on March 30th. Then you only have 1 day to wait out for the remainder of that quarter. Anyway, it could be anywhere from 1 day to 3 months of this initial quarter that you have to sit out. And then you add 2 additional entire quarters after that point. So another 6 months is tacked on to the time that already started accumulating over here. And the end result is that at its very fastest accelerated timeline, you are still not going to see any money from royalties for at least 6 to 9 months after your music has been on TV. And that alone should be enough to tell you that this is not a quick process to get paid, which really means don't quit your day job. You should not expect to make any money on year 1 based on that simple delay in payments and that timeline alone. So please do not quit your day job. What you'll find is that you have given up everything to pursue music only to discover that the very fastest you can get paid is 6 to 9 months. And that is if, big if, you achieve instant success. So the reality is you are going to make way more money mopping bathrooms at the bus station or mowing lawns or picking up dog poop or changing bedpans or flipping hamburgers than you will from this music business. That is a fact. And I'm sorry to say it to you, but you need to know this. Now, there will always be people that come into this business thinking they stand a better chance than everybody else because,
well, I've been playing music my whole life, so I'm already good at this.
Or,
I went to music school, so I'm already better than everybody else out there.
come talk to me in a few years and tell me how that has gone for you. But even if those people are correct and they were leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else, that doesn't speed up the timeline from the PROs. You're still looking at 6 to 9 months before you ever see a dime. Now let's go back on this timeline a little bit further and add even more depressing reality, because this is probably where a lot of people are right now, especially if you're watching my channel, trying to get your feet wet in this business, trying to make a little bit of headway. You probably don't have any music library connections right now, or if you do, they're probably fairly minimal and you would like to add more libraries, or at least a library, and get your music in the hands of someone who's actually pitching it to TV shows. So getting into a music library is going to add a huge swath of time on its own because you probably don't know who to approach. Now you can go Google these places and you can try to find the websites and attempt sending them some unsolicited submissions. Good luck with that, but you can do it. Or you can use a service like Taxi, but all of this is taking time as well. So you might spend another 3 to 6 to 9 months to 12 months just building up libraries that you are actively writing music for. And so now our overall timeline to seeing any type of monetary success is shifting by another year. Now let's go back even farther, and what you really need to know is it's probably going to take you at least 1 year, maybe 2, before your music gets to a level where it is usable, appropriate, and quality enough to actually be placed on TV shows. This takes time, and it doesn't matter if you are an amazing engineer or an amazing mixer. The sync business is just different from anything else you've experienced, with different rules, different approaches, different strategies, different everything. I've said this before on my channel a million times, and I will say it until I'm blue in the frickin' face. Sync music is different. Everybody has to learn this from scratch. It doesn't matter if you're Bruno Mars or Joe Schmo from Ohio. Almost everybody comes into sync music without any idea how to do it. And because of that, you are looking at a learning curve of probably a year to 2 years before your music is actually at a level where a music library will accept it. And so again, the timeline gets pushed back by another year. Do you see what's happening here and why it is is so important to not expect instant success. Now let's shift our focus to after music has been aired on TV again. And I'm gonna show you some ways in which this timeline can be pushed back even more. If your music is aired in a foreign market, that means any country outside of your home market, then there is going to be an additional 6 to 9 months worth of delay added on the back end. So for example, if your music is broadcast on TV somewhere in South Africa or Italy or Norway, then those PROs are the ones that are initially going to collect the cue sheets, and they have a very similar timeline as the American ones, and then they don't actually pay you. So they kick that over to the PRO from your home country, and then they pay you. So now you've got 6 to 9 months plus another 6 to 9 months, and that's all happening after your music was successful enough to land on a TV show. Now let's just say that you are a songwriter that wrote a vocal song that got placed on a TV show and pulled down some type of sync fee. A sync fee is an upfront one-time use license granting that production the rights to use your music in their production. And you might think, well, great, upfront money should mean I get it up front, right?
Wrong.
These sync fees are also paid out on a huge delay. So the production company will end up paying your music library. Then your music library has to turn around, do their accounting, and kick you the check. And it's very likely you won't see your upfront sync payments for at least 6 months. Now, what does that bring the total tally up to now? I don't know. We are years in the making before you ever see money from your music. And because of that, there is a mantra that is brandied about all the time in this particular area of the music business that says, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And that is so accurate, and you need to take it to heart. There is money to be made out here. It's just going to take a while to get there. And there is just no way to speed that up. You can't go out with a Louisville Slugger and start busting kneecaps to collect your money. You're going to get it when you get it. So is there any job in the world that you would be willing to work for as free labor for 3 to 5 years before you ever got paid for it? Well, us musicians are a crazy breed because we'll do it here and we'll probably love every single second of it, as frustrating as it is. But you have to be in this for the passion and the love of the craft, because if you're not in it for those things, and if you're not enjoying the process as you go along, then you are going to quit far sooner than you will ever see any monetary results. And if you want a little more information on how making music for TV is a get-rich-long scheme, well, guess what? I made a video about it. It's right here. See this little thing? Just click that. Watch that video next, and I'll see you there. Toodles!